Okay, good morning everybody, it's Mike. Thanks for joining me this morning. Hey, did you hear? The sky's falling. The end of the world's coming. We're in a bubble. The market's gonna crash again. Oh my God. I've been in Atlanta real estate now for over 3 decades. I've heard this shit so many times it's ridiculous, and now we're in it again. How many of you have bumped into the buyer or the seller that thinks that prices are going to go down next year? Oh, I want to wait to buy because I think we're in a bubble and I think prices are going to go down and I want to buy at the bottom of the market. What a bunch of crap. So how did we deal with that, right? Well, let me give you some things. First, it's easy to be Chicken Little. Okay? It's easy to be the person that's always predicting doomsday stuff. In 2016, I had an interesting dinner with one of these big real estate national coaches, right? Big guru guy, right? He gets thousands of people to come to his seminars. And this whole dinner, he's sitting there telling me about how he's certain that the market's going to crash again. Now, we've just come through a financial crisis, the worst in U.S. history, and we're starting to recover. And he's like, no, it's a false recovery, and this is all going to tank, and it's going to crash, and I'm selling everything now. You know what went on to happen? The strongest, most robust stock market recovery that we've ever had. And this guy exited out in 2016. He missed 3 or 4 of the strongest years of wealth building on Wall Street that we've ever seen. And what happened to real estate prices? What happened to real estate prices since 2016? Did they go up or did they go down? And this dumbass, because he had an opinion that he couldn't support, he just felt it. He just felt it. He couldn't support it. And how easy is it to be a doomsayer? Oh, another crash is coming. That's easy. That's what small-minded people do. Where's the data? Where's the facts? Second point. Well, let's look at the facts and not the emotions. Okay? Real estate prices. You want to talk about some facts? Let's talk about this. Real estate prices in the United States have gone down nationwide 1 time in our history. 1 time. Not all the time, not fluctuating. That's stock market stuff. It's not real estate. As a matter of fact, that was part of the problem the one time it happened in 2008. Because if you and I were sitting here in 2007, what you would have heard a lot of was, well, real estate never goes down. Now, sometimes it doesn't go up a lot. The Atlanta market prior to 2008 had always been a steady, mild, appreciating market. 1 to 3% a year. Not very sexy and exciting, right? No, but it never went down. It just kind of always inched up year by year, pretty stable, pretty safe. Matter of fact, if we'd been sitting here in 2007, people would have said, oh, well, real estate lending is the safest type of lending that there is. Why? People pay, that's the first bill people pay, is their home mortgage. That's why mortgage rates are lower than auto rates. That's why if you buy any type credit cards, you buy any kind of consumer goods on terms, on lending, that interest rate's much higher than your home mortgage rate. Why? Home mortgage rates it's safe. Why? Real estate doesn't go down. People pay their mortgage bills. One time in our nation's history, 2008, that didn't happen. Why? It wasn't because of real estate. Do you remember back 12 years ago and what happened and why it happened? It was bad mortgage lending. That drove it all. It wasn't a fundamental flaw in our economy. It wasn't that the U.S. economy was failing. It was that we made some really stupid, bad decisions when it came to mortgage lending. And the short effect of it all was that we made mortgage loans to people that we shouldn't have made mortgage loans to. And that all started to fail. And because the U.S. housing market is such a big part of the U.S. economy, it's the engine that drives the U.S. economy. Because of that, when the mortgage market started to fail, it wiped out Wall Street. Okay, it had a domino effect. Those fundamentals aren't in play now. There's not bad mortgage lending out there. There's some of the strongest credit requirements that we've ever had in play right now. There's no key indicator suggesting that we're in a bubble and that prices are going to come down. This is just people's opinions. Watch this. Well, after the election, and depending on how you see the world, you finish that sentence. Elections have never impacted the U.S. real estate market, ever. Ever. Show me one time in U.S. history where an election impacted the real estate market. You can't. It's just an opinion, but you can't support the opinion. Elections will have a limited temporary impact on the stock market. Okay? So as Wall Street tries to figure out what the new normal is until they can establish predictable behavior, because they like predictable behavior. They like to know what they can expect. So if we have a new administration voted in, we'll probably have a very short 45 to 60 day volatile stock market. It'll go up, it'll go down, and it'll change day by day. That's typically what happens. If the current administration's reelected, you'll probably see an immediate jump as Wall Street celebrates what they would refer to as safety, known behavior. Okay? It's not an endorsement of one party or another. It's just an historical fact. You want another one? How about this? Presidents are like football coaches. They get way too much credit for the wins and way too much blame for the losses. They're not on the field. They didn't fumble the ball in the last minute. They didn't miss the field goal. They get way too much credit and way too much blame. Presidents, the White House can affect foreign policy and influence Supreme Court. The Federal Reserve and the Treasury Department control money supply. Congress establishes the budget and spending. So why are we giving so much credence to who gets elected president in the fall? And why do we think that they're going to have any impact on the U.S. real estate market at all? There's no fact there. There's no basis for it. It's just an opinion without support. All projections, if you've seen this, if you want some facts, what did the chairman of the Federal Reserve Board recently say? Just last week in an interview, we project interest rates to stay the same or even go a tick or two lower for 2021. That's the chairman of the Federal Reserve. They're controlling that long-term interest rates. We expect them to stay stable or decline a tick or two in 2021. What did NAR's chief economist say? We expect 2021 to be the same, maybe better, as what we've seen in the summer of 2020. Who is out there? What credible source is giving any data to say anything negative? And why are all projections always on the decline? Why is the sky always falling? When was the last projection you heard that said things were going to get better? See, that doesn't sell, does it? Good news doesn't sell. Only dramatic bad news. Oh, the world's going to end. That sells. And that's why people do it, folks. So how do you combat this? How do you deal with this with your customers? Explore the conversation with them. Why do you feel that way? Where did you get the information from? And then talk to them about the projections that you're getting. Well, NAR's chief economist said this. The chairman of the Federal Reserve Bank said this. This is going to require you to be a knowledgeable professional, which means you're going to need to be staying up with current matters, topical events, so that you can have these conversations with people. When you hear somebody say, I think we're in a bubble and prices are going to go down next year, ask them why they believe that. Be interested. Don't be patronizing. Be interested. Seek to understand. Seek to explore. Have a reasonable unemotional conversation with them about it. I think when you do, what they will start to hear in their own voice is, yeah, I don't really know what I'm talking about. This is just fun to say, because it gets a reaction out of people. Here's the truth, folks. As long as demand for homes remains higher than the supply, prices are going to stay up. That's kind of how it works. If you'll join me tomorrow, I'm going to talk to you about why the supply is staying low. There's some key reasons. Here we go with this word again. There's some facts that you need to be armed with so that you can be a well-informed professional and help guide your customers through the home buying process so they can make good decisions. Now, enough of this. Let's go out there and make it happen for ourselves.